All right, here we are for the matches for our second draft of the night. I won the die roll. I will play first. Yeah, this hand is good. It's got things. It's got stuff. Gideon's Lawkeeper, huh? Alright, alright. I think I can deal with this. Take an Agony Warp. Glad we hit with the Augur of Bolas. So he looks like a pretty aggressive deck here. I'm just leaving up Agony Warp. He knows about it, so he's not going to attack into it. Attended Knight. I have some options here. I can kill the Attended Knight. I can kill Gideon's Lawkeeper. I'm going to use Magma Jet to do the kills, though. Huh. Alright. Fair enough, fair enough. I do want more lands. I'll just play my extra blocker dude. He taps me down. Gets to swing in for 3. Because he knows that the shields are down with Agony Warp. That's fine. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Alright, we draw Lingering Souls. Pretty fantastic. He will not trade with me. But, I get Lingering Souls out on the field, and I get to flash them back, and that is a lot of bodies. Yeah, I'm considering blocking here. I'm not sure. I kind of just want to clock him in the air. I've got removal in hand. I can bounce his token, so I kind of don't want to trade with it because I don't know what he's going to do. I'm feeling like I should just have these guys fly in the air and kill him. So I make no blocks. Go down to 14. He plays a Call of the Conclave token. And then a Slaughterhorn. Okay. Well, we get the Miracle out of Thunderous Wrath. I'll just kill off this... I mess up for a second there. And then I'll just kill off this Centaur token. And we've got a pretty good clock in the air. I'm going to leave back 1 Spirit now, because now I kind of do want to block one of his 1/1s. No attacks. Fair enough. Play my land. He's going to tap down my Mistraven. I'll get in with all my dudes. Just keep him on a clock. Try and bait out some sort of attack here. Well, that's awkward. He knows about the Agony Warp, but... I mean, I'm going to make him have it. If he has some trick here. No, no trick. You're just some sort of bluff. Alright. I had the Augur Spree as backup as well. Now I'm feeling pretty much in command of this game. Life is going well. Develop another zombie. He concedes. Alright, alright. On to game 2. Game 2. He is on... Ooh, this isn't good. He is on the play this time. We mulligan because we have a 1-lander. We have to mulligan this too. It's a no-lander. This is 3 lands and 2 of the spells we can't cast, but I really don't want to mull to 4. Gnawing Zombie, I guess we keep that on top just because we need some sort of blocker or anything. Ulvenwald Tracker, that's not good. Yeah, this isn't good at all. Gideon's Lawkeeper. This guy probably drafted a Ranger of Eos, and even if he didn't, this is not good. Guy is Anthem. He's living the dream. We're suffering here. Yep. Well, I can't cast any of the spells in my hand, unfortunately. This is what happens when you play 4-color stuff. But it's also just what happens when you mull to 5 cards. Sure, let's get rid of that Moa. This guy's deck is pretty good. I am not doing well over here. This mull to 5 did not treat me well. Dimir Guildgate. Alright, we can start casting spells. He has Eyes in the Skies, though, and that's going to significantly improve his clock, and we are not going to have a good time here. Hungry Spriggan. Yeah. Well, we'll just see what we would have drawn. Not a lot. These Gifts of Orzhova I put in, figuring that I can kill off his Gideon's Lawkeepers and swing in with them. Not so hot, but not anything going on. I basically ditched a lot of my higher end cards and hoping to prevent him from going under me. On to game 3. Let's not mull to 5 this time. Yeah, this is keep. It's not great, but it's got enough. I mean, part of the problem is, again, we have this Thunderous Wrath in hand, which is kind of a dead card. This is kind of like a Molda 6, but as a Molda 6, this isn't that bad. I've got Agony Warp, I've got Dregscape Zombie, I've got more removal. I've got answers for stuff. I'm going to be put on the clock pretty quickly, though, unfortunately. Gideon's Lawkeeper. He has another one. Well, I'll play this zombie. He has a second Lawkeeper. Well, that's how he's had a Lawkeeper every game. This man is mono Lawkeepers. He is keeping law all day. Do I use this Agony Warp? My answer was no. If I had known I was going to draw a Gift of Orzhova, maybe I would have thought differently. Yeah, this isn't fun. Starting to feel like I have to do something. I definitely need to kill this Moa. I use Agony Warp, figuring that I might need to use the Augur Spree on something bigger. Play my Falconwrath Noble. Elect not to attack. I need to play a hard defense game here. Penumbra Spider. That's not good. That's really difficult for me to do anything against. Taps down my guy. I feel like I need to slow down his clock here. And so I use the Augur Spree on the Penumbra Spider. Gains me a life. I basically got to burn through his guy slowly. He plays Urbis Protector, though, and that's not very good. I would have rather killed off the Angel. Compulsive Research, pitch a land, sure. And let's kill off one of his Lawkeepers while we have the chance. I do believe I pitched both. Hopefully I did. Ulvenwald Tracker. Wow, he's got all his hits. We are not having a good time here. This Gift of Orzhova is not becoming relevant yet. And we are just a little bit too slow here. Unfortunate. I could block with a Dregscape Zombie, prevent him from fighting me with the Spider, but then he would just fight me with the Angel. Not going to make much of a difference. I could have double blocked with the Spiders, but then he fights down one of my zombies, and I get twofered. Not even really twofered, just blown out. Yep, so I lose Falconwrath Noble, which is really unfortunate. I brought in this Gift of Orzhova expecting that he didn't have much removal, but this Ulvenwald Tracker is getting the job done, and we have just kind of run out of things on our own end. I, again, need to slow down his clock, unfortunately, so I don't have a lot of good options here. And I'm going to suit up my guy to try and prevent the Spider from killing him off. But unfortunately, he has his Anthem. He's got a pretty insane deck, as it turns out, and we're not going to do well. I could block with this Mistraven, but I need to keep whatever creatures alive I can. He's going to fight down my Mistraven. Deadeye Navigator, you are a little bit too slow. Taps down my guy, sure. It's possible we make it. All he's got left is 2/2s if he has nothing that can really fight. Alright, let's try and Deadeye Navigator, and we'll Soul Bond it just because. And he has Eyes in the Skies, which will stop everything. Well, this was unfortunate. Just a little bit too slow against a pretty insane deck. The guy had 2 Gideon's Lawkeepers, Penumbra Spider, Bronzebeak Moas, Eyes in the Skies, Urbis Protector, Ulvenwald. Guys, like, we haven't seen a bad card from him this entire time, and we just stumbled a little bit with our draws. Had to keep a kind of questionable, not a great hand, sort of a below average hand on game 3, and then game 2 we mulled to 5. So rough beats, unfortunately, and that's game. Well, 0-1 in the draft. Kind of feeling bad. I do like the deck, though. Let's see what we do in match 2. I'm on the play. I'll play on the play. Sends me a message. I think it was good luck, have fun. This is a pretty good start. I've got creatures, lands, removal, stuff. Don't really like having my Cruel Ultimatum in hand, but Wall of Frost. I do like seeing that I'm up against some sort of control deck. I'll bounce the Wall of Frost, and I'll start swinging it with my guy. I'm not going to get really much of a better target for this Mistraven. The wall doesn't have an enter the battlefield effect. Cost 3. Falconwrath Noble, huh? Yeah, I think I'm just going to kill that. So I know he has the wall in hand, so I'm thinking maybe he doesn't play the wall next turn and I can Inquisition a Kozilek. I think the Inquisition might be good, so I scry it to the top. And we get in for 4. So we're hoping he plays some 5-drop here. Plays the Wall of Frost. Alright, well, I don't really have much to do, so let's fire off this Inquisition. And we whiff. His hand is decent. Soul Ransom, 2 islands, Falconwrath Noble. I do have some answers here. I mean, I could just kill whatever he Soul Ransoms. I can bounce potentially the Soul Ransom if he doesn't keep cards in hand. I do need to find some lands, but I don't feel like I'm under any sort of immediate threat, but it is kind of bad that we whiffed on our Inquisition of Kozilek. I feel bad about scrying to the top, but I thought there would be a good chance that he had more than one less than 3 cost card in his hand there, and unfortunately he did not. Falconwrath Noble, well, I think we're just going to kill that. I still kind of want to put him on a little bit of a clock here, make him do stuff. I don't want that Soul Ransom pointed at my Dinrova Horror. It just seems not very good. So Draxus Spectre, huh? Well, alright. And Soul Ransom's my dude. Well, let's use our mana. Grixis Slave Driver. Well, that'll be a nice thing to discard to the Sidraxis Spectre if he unearths it. Yeah, he does. So we know he doesn't have much in hand. I'll just discard this Slave Driver. I did make the decision a few turns back not to keep a land on top, which I'm kind of regretting. And I'm just going to bring back my Slave Driver here. He doesn't have me on much of a clock, and I kind of want to get a little bit more value to my Dinrova Horror. I can bounce his Soul Ransom, but I'm not in a rush. I also have my Cruel Ultimatum here, which is going to be pretty brutal for him. Well, Mistraven is great. That's a great top deck, because now I can bounce my own Mistraven, and there's the answer. The nice, efficient answer I was looking for his thing. I decide not to attack. I have some options here, but I think I can just bounce the wall next turn. Having one of my guys tap down next turn seems not that good, even if I get in the 2 points of damage. Seal of Doom. Sure, kills my Mistraven. He's got 1 card in hand. Alright. Let's bounce this guy, swing in. The Magma Jet is probably going to the dome. Get in for 4. I also don't really want to show Dinrova Horror. I feel like I can win here, and if I show the Dinrova Horror, then he's going to play around it forever. So, we don't have to show the Dinrova Horror, fortunately, and we're on to Game 2. How are we doing here? This is a keep. I mean, it's got 2 lands. It can play a Gnawing Zombie. Eventually, I find Augur Sprees. It's also got Deadeye Navigator, Dinrova Horror, and this is a pretty slow matchup, so I'm willing to keep this, even though it's a slower hand. We're both playing our slow tapped lands. Gnawing Zombie's not bad. It's a way for me to counter the Soul Ransom, if need be. Augur Spree, unfortunately, will not kill his wall, but I'm not really planning on beating by killing the wall. Entomber Exarch is unfortunate, because it means he's going to get to take my land and slow down my development here, which is pretty bad. I'm not going to kill it, though. I also kind of don't want to do anything. I'm going to save the Augur Spree for whatever he plays here. Falconwrath Noble. That seems like a decent shot. We'll just kill it. Compulsive Research, now that I have a land and I'm guaranteed to not just throw away stuff. Huh, interesting. So I only drew 1 other land, and I do want to hit my land drops. I could just be discarding, say, Thunderous Wrath and a Dregscape Zombie. I decide that the game's probably going to go long enough. I don't really feel like I'm under a lot of pressure. I'm going to pitch a land here and play my Orzhov Guildgate. It is awkward, but again, I am a 3.5 color deck, right, with the splash from my guy. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just get rid of this Thunderous Wrath. We didn't really want to do anything with that anyways. Dimir Guildgate. Well, we're getting the lands we need. I'm just going to Augur Spree his dude. I don't know if he has some sort of blink type stuff, but I don't want to mess around with that. I could lose a lot of value very quickly here. Azure Mage draws a card. Now I'm feeling a little bit under the gun. I've got 5 cards in hand. He's got 2, and he doesn't really have me on that bad of a clock. But yeah, we definitely want to do this. I scry the Cruel Ultimatum to the bottom. I kind of feel like if I can just get lands, I can hit my 6 drops and start doing things. I decided to play Gnawing Zombie over the Dregscape Zombie here. It's a little bit more resilient to removal. If he has like an Izzet Charm or he has a Magma Jet, right? He doesn't get in another 2 points of damage for free. Entomber Exarch. Well, unfortunately, I've got nothing but gas up here, buddy. All creatures. He wisely chooses to bring back his Dinrova Horror anyways, though. Mystical Teachings. Well, I'm just going to do this Dregscape Zombie. I don't really have a lot that I really want to fetch. Just putting an extra blocker out is going to be good. It's not that he can really Dinrova that I care about. I'll ditch this, either the Slave Driver or the Mystical Teachings, no problem. Dimir Guildgate. Well, we're getting there. I'm not going to hold a land in hand for his guy. He's considering how he wants to tap. Decides not to do anything. Oh, no. There he goes. He was just on my main, didn't realize it. Spire Monitor. Alright. So I can Mystical Teachings at end of turn here. Go and find something to kill the Spire Monitor. Sure, Agony Warp will do the job. Arcane Sanctum. I'm still considering maybe this is the point where I start holding lands, but I've got Deadeye Navigator, so I kind of want to get to 4 lands here. He attacks in with the Spire Monitor. Alright, well, no extra value, but that's fine. He knew we got it. Grixis Slave Driver. Sure, sure, sure. Thunderous Wrath. Yeah, I guess we'll kill your biggest thing. And now we'll play one of our own. Oh, never mind. I'm going to kill a zombie. Make him discard a card. He has lands in hand because he's playing around Dinrova Horrors. Wise, wise. We're in the Dinrova Horror mirror matchup here, so seems like a smart thing to do. The nice thing is, though, I have, eventually, this Deadeye Navigator doing so much work. I'm willing to take 4 here. I'm not going to trade off. Falconwrath Noble, though, pretty good draw. That's going to help me stabilize, make it hard for him to do stuff. Alright, let's see what he has. We see Seal of Doom, Rewind, and Dinrova Horror. And now I kind of see what's going on here. He's going to try and rewind my Deadeye Navigator, almost certainly, and he's just saving up for everything else. So I'm going to need to wait till I find my Cruel Tomato. He's going to let my Falconwrath Noble go because he knows what I have in hand, and he needs to. He can't let this Deadeye Navigator resolve. That will just lose him the game very quickly. So he's always going to keep up that rewind. Dinrova Horror, sure. Yeah, I guess I lose a Noble. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I'm still going to play my lands. I want to get up to the number of lands where I can Deadeye Navigator plus an activation. Make him keep up that rewind under all circumstances. We'll flash back our teachings at this point. He has Izzet Charm, though. Unfortunate. So, us not waiting a turn kind of cost us a little bit. But, Lingering Souls is a pretty good card, as it turns out. And, suddenly he's back on a clock. He needs answers. Falconwrath Noble is an answer, unfortunately for us. Yeah, sure, I'll trade off with you. Give me my 2/2. Drains us. I'm kind of walking a fine line here. Well, at this point, I think we are looking to keep a land in hand. Because now I have a zombie token out. If he plays his Dinrova Horror, I'd have to discard. Ooh. Yes, yes. The cruelest of tomatoes. This will bait out the counter spell. There we go. And next turn, I'm just going to get my Deadeye Navigator back from out of my graveyard with Cruel Ultimatum. Now, if he has 2 counter spells, of course, this is just going to go really badly. But he also needs to do something. I mean, I do have kind of ways of staying alive, and he's at 4 less cards than I am. So I might not even lose then. But we're going to pop the tomato here, and that's going to be a pretty big game. He sacks his zombie token. I get back my Deadeye Navigator. Draw 3 cards. He clears his hand, which is basically just a bunch of mana. That's fine. But I go up to 10 here. Now I'm in a pretty good spot. I do kind of need to worry a little bit about him having like Soul Ransom, so I kind of want to keep up 2 mana just to sack a creature in response. But now we get to play this Deadeye Navigator, and we're going to pair with this Dinrova Horror, and life is going to get pretty bad for him pretty fast. If I can untap like this, game's over, and he doesn't have a way of stopping me from untapping and winning the game, so he concedes. Nice, nice. 1-1 now, going into the 3rd match. For the money, 4 packs. We get 2 packs if we win, and though we didn't open any money, that'll stabilize our losses a little bit. 1 lander, not really what we want. Pitch it. This is better. I mean, it's got 3 colors and stuff to play. Sure. He mulligans to 6 cards as well, which is nice. I'm going to put the removal on top. I just don't want to be zerged down by some guy. You know, I feel like if we go long, we'll draw into more stuff. We hit with the Augur of Bolas, which is really nice. Does show him the Magma Jet, so he's not going to show us that much great stuff to kill. He has an Augur of Bolas. Alright, great. So this is some sort of slower matchup. I'm feeling a lot better. There's my Cruel Ultimato. Not really something I'm anywhere close to casting, but something I probably want to play at some point in this matchup. Yeah, we'll kill off your Talon Trooper. I don't want to be on a clock here. I've got a ways to go. Miles to go before I sleep. I do like this just draw go type thing that we're doing here, because eventually I'll draw lands. Forbidden Alchemy. Alright, so he's gonna generate some value. Excellent, excellent. Wing Splicer, go! Oh no, he has counterspells. Well, I mean, the other option was Mistraven. Bouncing his Augur of Bolas, that doesn't feel good. So, I stand by my decision. Spire Monitor, that's not good. We're going to have to spend removal on that. Then we try and bounce it first with our Unburial Rites. Wow. Well, he plays a 5-mana Talon Trooper. Alright. Let's get his Spire Monitor out of here. Make him replay it at 5 mana. Seems like as good a deal as we're going to get with a Mistraven. I expect a lot of his creatures to have enter the battlefield effects. Just getting a big one that doesn't have an enter the battlefield effect seems pretty decent. Here I can do things with Magma Jets. I'm just going to kill this guy. I don't really want to deal with it. Maybe it was a little bit loose. I could have tried to Magma Jet. Well, let's just Mistraven, bounce a dude. Slow him down. I'm at 13. I don't really want to go too much lower here. Tower Gargoyle. Alright, well I can kill that off with Magma Jet. So I think we're just going to leave Magma Jets up. Let's Inquisition. Ooh, we do find the Talon Trooper that we bounced. We find a Wingcrafter as well, which is nice to see because there's not a lot of relevance to it. Aethertoe and Mistraven. Alright. Fair enough, fair enough. We take the Talon Trooper, of course. And now I just get to hold up my Magma Jet. Yes, yes. He could have bounced his own guy with Aethertoe at this point. That would be really speculative, though. He'd have to guess that I had Magma Jet. And even then, it might not even really be worth for him to use up the Aethertoe to save his guy. We take the land because we want to get it closer to Cruel Tomato. We also just want to play Grixis Slave Driver next turn. Unburial Rites for his Tower Gargoyle. Alright, alright. Swings with his guy. I'll take 2. I'm cutting it kind of close here the way I'm playing it. Getting this Grixis Slave Driver out. But we should have some pretty good stuff coming up here. Magma Jet can clear things. 1 land gets me Cruel Tomato. Thunderous Wrath. That's great too. Well, let's kill your Tower Gargoyle. I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's not a whole lot that he can have here that's going to be that crazy. Dinrova Horror, sure. Discard my Lingering Soul, so I'll finally be able to cast it. He gets in a nice swing. I'm able to do a little bit of a blowout here. I pitch both of those to the bottom. I just need to find an untapped land for Cruel Tomato, and we do, and that's really nice to see. Means I don't have to do something dumb like bounce his Talon Trooper. The cruelest of tomatoes. Oh my. He's got to discard a bunch of cards. I get to draw 3 cards. I gain 5 life. That's also a really big deal for us here. I'm feeling pretty good. He discards Soul Manipulation, Aether Toe, and Grasp of Phantom, so I don't quite know what else he has left. With the information that we had on the Inquisition of Kozilek has expired. But I'm feeling pretty good about the game. There's not a lot he can have. I've Misthaven to bounce things. I pulled back a Wing Splicer. Well, we get to just bounce a dude. And I will flash back Lingering Souls. Put out some blockers in case he draws something crazy. He just plays land, replays Talon Trooper, no attacks. I kind of have a choice here of how I close this game out. I decide ultimately to basically vindicate the Misthaven with my Dinrova Horror. I was really worried about him having power in the air and basically drawing something like Momentary Blink or Ghostly Flicker and getting enough value with the Dinrova Horror, Misthaven, whatever, to do some stuff. So I end up just Dinrova Horroring his Misthaven. Get one more flyer out of the air. Get my life gain guy out, and I feel like if we can just survive this next turn without anything crazy happening, then we'll be in a pretty good spot. He flashes back Forbidden Alchemy. That's fine. I think I've got this game pretty well in hand at this point. I start swinging with my guys. Yep, if he trades down stuff, that's good for us. Get our Wing Splicer out. And that's game. All right, game 2. Well, it's not great, but it's got an early blocker. It's got a counterspell, and this just seems like a slow matchup. I will keep drawing a land. Not really what we want. Agony Warp, that's fine. It's removal. Kill something of his. Maybe one of those Talon Troopers, Spire Monitors, Misthaven. Lots of stuff I could kill. Forbidden Alchemy, sure. Misthaven, bouncing my dude. Alright. I decide not to kill it. Doesn't seem super valuable of a target. I'm hoping to get a little 2-for-1 here. Basically, that he'll play some other creature that can go after, and then I'll block Misthaven, Agony Warp, kill off his dude, kill off his Misthaven too with my spirits. Yeah, so this is a good start here. Compulsive Research, pitch a land. Yep. Leave up my Agony Warp, and hopefully we blow him out here. If we can get a 2-for-1 here, I'd be pretty happy. So how are we doing? Agony Warp, Spell Pierce. Unfortunate. Well, we still trade off for the Misthaven, which I'm fine with. Not the greatest. Thunderous Wrath, miracled off the top. Don't mind if I do. I'll play it. Sure. Let's just get out a Falcon Wrath Noble here. He has answers to it, but it's still such a good card. I'm not exactly sure what to do here. I don't really just want Dinrova Horror land. Decided to just flash back the spirits. Forbidden Alchemy. Alright. I also want to keep up Rewind in case he plays something kind of bad for me. I'm letting him get all this card advantage, but I really just want to avoid getting Dinrova Horror or something like this, right? I feel like I've got enough. He's got to do something to break out of this, because I'm just going to beat him down over the course of 4 turns. And if I can just keep the counter magic up, then I'm feeling pretty good. Augur of Bolas. Again, I'm looking to counter impactful things. Dinrova Horror. There's one of them. I'll counter that. Untap lands, doesn't matter. I don't actually have anything to cast along with it. This Dinrova Horror is not super valuable, but it puts our opponent on more of a clock. I just bounce a land. Try and set him back a land. I don't want him to play Augur Bolas and get another look at, I don't know, Damnation. Who knows? Grasp of Phantoms. Alright. Redraw my Falconwrath Noble. I know he has Soul Manipulation. Actually, we saw him get that. Soul Manipulation. So I can't replay my Falconwrath Noble. I should have mentioned that earlier. But that's fine. Again, I still just have him on a clock. He plays Soul Manipulation just to get back a Mistraven. He's in Desperation mode. I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do here. Mistraven, sure. Bounce one of my dudes. I'll sack it to gain life, deal damage to him. And he's going to get back his Slave Driver, but I basically just... that leaves him dead on board. Because I've got Falconwrath Noble here, and now that he's tapped out. But I just Miracle Thunderous Wrath anyways. Right, because if I play the Falconwrath Noble here, there's not a whole lot he's able to do. Like, I have the mana to sack stuff, and this just closes it out easy. So, another 2-1. Again, I don't know. The game that we lost, I felt we could have won. Just the unfortunate Mold of 5, and then bad situation. But, I don't know. The deck performed reasonably well. This was a little bit more of the speed that I was expecting of this format. We saw basically one aggro deck that was able to go under us, and then we saw two kind of slower control decks that were like ours, but just a little bit worse. And this sort of cruel control type thing, just splashing white for Lingering Souls, worked out pretty well. So that's kind of twice in a row that I've done 4-color good stuff. Finding signets has been hard. I think a lot of people realize signets are really good. Finding fixing hasn't been that hard, though. I mean, we saw with this deck we had plenty of Guild Gates, plenty of Arcane Sanctums, and we prioritized the fixing fairly highly, so, that's fair, but, I think our deck quality was still very good. I liked where we were at with this, and I don't think we had to sacrifice too much in the way of playables. I think cards like Gnawing Zombie are reasonably good. I mean, it's a 1/3 for 2, which is just, when you're a deck that has late game like this is kind of a reasonable thing to be able to do. Just play a 1/3, right? Because eventually you get to your Deadeye Navigator comboing with Dinroval Horror, crazy stuff like that. And so I don't know. Had we drafted a less control-y deck, we might have lost to these other control decks, right? But we also might have had better luck against the aggro deck. I don't know. Because a lot of times we just had cards that were too slow. We played Deadeye Navigator in our first match, and he just responded with Eyes in the Skies, and that killed us off, right? Because we were at 4. If we had something just a little bit faster sooner, I don't know. In any case, slower deck worked out, 4-color stuff. Still haven't really changed my mind on a lot of stuff in the format. I think this is pretty solid. I'm willing to draft decks like this again, even if I only went 2-1 and ended up losing money on the day. I think this is roughly where you should be in this format. I think this is a pretty good spot. All right.